Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here, and this is my Game Week 3 preview, including transfer targets for Fantasy Premier League. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and get any comments, questions, or thoughts in ahead of another game week. And we're going to start off, and as usual, we'll be using the Fantasy Football Hub membership that I have. If this is something of interest to you, you can get 50% off right now. And if you do not win your mini league, they will give you your money back at the end of the season. So go to the link in the bio of this video if it's something you want to do. So we're going to present the screen straight from the Fantasy Football Hub. And we are going to go into the fixture difficulty research tool. And what we're going to do is just talk through this week's fixtures. And we're going to start off with the teams that have the worst expected points per player on average, based on the easiest overall fixtures from game week 3. And it's going to be the overall points. This is all using the technology that Fantasy Football Hub has. And it's got stars as well for the attack and the defense. So we're going to go to the very bottom, and we're going to go Brighton. 1.5 stars for their attack away at Arsenal. So tricky game. Arsenal yet to concede this season. But 2.5 stars for their defence. So a little bit better, and 0.6 points on average per player. So you'd be lucky to even get a point from your best Brighton assets. Next up is Spurs, who are second bottom. It did surprise me a little bit. Obviously, I'm a Spurs fan. I've watched them this season. Kept 1 clean sheet so far. Only let a goal in. Have scored 5 goals over 2 games. But Newcastle away is a tricky game over the last couple of years. So they're coming in at 3.5 for their attack and 2 stars for the defence, with 0.9 points overall per player. Then we got Crystal Palace away to Chelsea. Tricky one. We'd normally say it'd be a bit better for Palace, but Chelsea did win 6-2 away at Wolves last week. They're getting 3 stars for the attack, 2.5 for the defence, and 1 point. And then Liverpool, who have had a great start to the season, but Old Trafford is notoriously a difficult game for them. 5-star attack, 3-star defence, and 1.1 points on average per player. West Ham playing Man City at home. You think it'll be a bit trickier for them, given they are playing City. But 2 stars for both attack and defence, and 1.1 in terms of points. Southampton coming in at 1.1 points as well. 1.5 for the defence, 1.5 for the attack at Brentford away. I did skip Wolves there as well. 1.5 and 1.5 for attack and defence. 1.1 points, Forest away. So we'll move up to City. 5 stars for the attack, 4.5 for the defence, 1.2 points. 1.2 points for Manchester United at home to Liverpool. 3 stars for the attack, 3 stars for the defence, and 1.2 points also for Bournemouth away to Everton, with 2.5 stars for the attack and 2 stars for the defence. And I feel they should be a little bit higher than what they are with Everton's poor start to the season. We'll talk about players from each of or some of these sides later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. We go higher up here into Aston Villa at 1.3 points and 3.5 for the attack and 2.5 for the defence. It gets better. In Villa as well. They're playing Leicester away, so I should mention the fixtures as well. It gets better for Fulham at 1.4 points away to Ipswich. 2.5 for the attack, 2.5 for the defence. And then Leicester at home to Aston Villa. Although their attack's only at 1.5 stars and their defence is at 1 stars, 1.5 points, so predicted to be slightly better. Newcastle as well at 1.5 points, 5 stars, 5 stars for the attack, probably because they're good history against Spurs, and 2 stars for the defence. Chelsea with 5-star attack, 1.5 for the defence, and 1.5 points per player. And then it's starting to get a bit better. Ipswich, only 1 star for the attack and 1 star for the defence, but at home against Fulham, predicted at 1.6 points per player. Arsenal coming in strong there with a 5-star attack and 5-star defence at 1.7 points. Everton have had a horrible start to the season, coming in at 1.6 points with 1.5 stars and 2.5 stars for the defence, home to Bournemouth. Arsenal home to Brighton. And then we'll end with the 2 strongest points overall for this weekend. 1.8 for Brentford at home to Southampton. Some good picks in there. 2.5 for the defence. For the attack, 2 stars for the defence. 2.5 stars for Forest, attack, and 2 stars for the defence at home to Wolves, coming off a horrible 6-2 defeat at home to Chelsea. So from there, all the fixtures, there's some of the stars and points ratings. But one of the main points of this video is to talk about transfer targets and captain targets. So we're going to go in to the toolbox and go to the points. We'll go to the player profiles, and we're going to go in to some of my favorite transfer targets for game week 3. I'm going to go with one of my favorite transfer targets going into this game week. And you can just see me typing him in there. Savinho, currently on 5 points per game, 3.03 expected points per game. His heat map, pretty good on this right-hand side. Really high for chances created, final third passes. He plays against West Ham away. He's only got 1.7 points predicted and a 3 out of 5 difficulty. But I look at him and thinking he's going to get a lot of joy in off that right-hand side. He might even rotate to the left. I know here his heat map seen him up that wing a lot, but yeah, Savio, whatever you want to call him, really good fixture, I think, this week away at West Ham. Although they did win last week, West Ham, I think Everton will get some joy at the London Stadium on that bigger pitch. And then let's go to another one of my good picks for this week. It's Semenyo, another transfer target at 5.5 million. Bargain for me. 3.33 points per game, 4.04 expected points. I thought his heat map might be a little bit more red, but we're seeing him crop up here in lots of positions, especially in and around the box. Look at this, though. This shots target, 1.5 expected points per game from his shots. He's got such a high shot count right there, so it's really strong. Expected assists, XG, chances created is all pretty solid as well. It's the shots that are just unbelievable. Everton away, expected 18 minutes and 4.3 points. And it even backs up the week after with Chelsea at home as well. One of the main breadwinners for Bournemouth right now, already on strong points return, 13 points in his last 2 games. And it could have been so much more in the previous game week where he did hit the bar and got an assist against Newcastle. So Semenyo for me is a really strong pick. We're going to go into Smith Rowe, who returned 10 points in game week 2. Plays Ipswich away, 3.89 expected points. Don't think it looks too good here when you have a look. And even his heat map doesn't look brilliant. But I think having this Ipswich away fixture, 4.3 points, a 2 out of 5 difficulty rating, makes him a high transfer target for me. And I think he's only going to get better and better with more games in a Fulham shirt. We're going to go to my next pick, who I think is just one of the best picks for this game week. Good fixture, leads the line at the moment for Brentford, whilst Tony just does not want to play. He's got 3.27 expected points. He's really high here on his through balls, which is good to hear. BCC as well. Heat map. I guess as well with these heat maps, it's only based off a couple of games as well. Southampton at home, 2 out of 5 on the difficulty for the fixtures, 5.4 expected points. So Brian Mbeumo will be hot target this game week. But my number one pick for this game week, he's on the more expensive side. But for me, he is a must-have for anyone who's got the money, anyone who's got the wild card, anyone that's using the free hit, anyone that's got 2 or 3 transfers and can bring him in. It's Cole Palmer. 7.81 expected points, 9.17 points per game. Really high there on the BCC, which is the big chances created, one of the best metrics. Chances created as well. Shots are already high. Heat map as well, picks up lots of positions in and around the box off that right-hand side. Saw him get 3 assists and a goal against Wolves, 17-point haul. Plays Palace at home, 3 out of 5 on the difficulty rating, 7 expected points. Will we see Cole Palmer's first big haul at Stamford Bridge this season? So that's my favourite transfer picks. Let's go in to some points predictions for players, and we're going to use this for the top 3 captains for game week 3, in my opinion. And we're going to go in number 3. I'm going to go to Arsenal at home to Brighton. And it's Saka, who's got 6.8 expected points there. Against Brighton, we'll zoom in more. Expected minutes of 86 as well. 34.1% ownership at £10 million. Home game, early kickoff curse maybe. But yeah, good fixture. Looking good this season. Looking fit and ready to go. And it's a tricky fixture for Arsenal, but at home, he gets points. And Arsenal will look to probably win that one by a couple of goals. In second, it isn't who you all think it's going to be. It's Erling Haaland. He's a second pick for me this week. 15.1 million, 59.7% ownership. Predicted points of 7.3 away to West Ham with 87 minutes predicted. Not necessarily because he's away, because he scored goals at this stadium before. Scored 2 on his City debut at this stadium. And I still think there's a couple of goals in him. But he's not my favourite. I think number 2 for me this week. Number 1 is a man I just spoke about. Cold Palmer. Home to Palace, who have yet to win. They are a good side, Palace. But they've lost Anderson as a centre-back. Might be a little bit more vulnerable. He was a big player for them. Palmer, 10.5 million, 39% ownership, 7 predicted points, and expected to play at least 90 minutes. Obviously, if Chelsea are in cruise control like they were against Wolves, he might then get an early sub. We will see how many minutes he plays in the Europa League conference against Servette in the morning. He might not play any. Chelsea have a 2-0 lead. But for me, he's the number 1 captain pick at home to Palace for game week 3. So that was all using Fantasy Football Hub. So if you like what you see here, you can subscribe to a membership, 50% off. And if you don't win your mini league, they give you your money back. Head to the link in the bio of this video. We'll stop there. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe. If you are new, give the video a like. Get any comments, questions, or thoughts in. And if you've got this far in the video, send me your wildcard draft on my Twitter or X tweet. I'm going to be back tomorrow with my live pre-deadline stream where I'll be rating everyone's video using the everyone's team using the Fantasy Football Hub AI. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'm FPLMattDay. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one. Thanks again and bye for now.